All right, the DJI Air 2S is on its way. Bill, the drone reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live, and during a majority of the show, we talked about the news regarding the FCC ID finding for the DJI Air 2S. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. The DJI Air 2S is on its way. It is. How do we know? Okay. That's the $64,000 question. Well, here's the answer. Okay. You got our buddy, Hey Kestelou from Drone XL. I don't know if it was him, but somebody found the DJI Air 2S out on the FCC Grant ID database. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and take a look at this and go over his article. Okay. Now, the FCC filing, and let's go ahead. We're going to look at that like I like to take you to this, guys. Okay. And you can't really read anything from the FCC ID. Talks about images. There's not a lot out here because what happens is there are, and I think I've explained it to you, but if you're new to what the FCC Grant ID database is and the information that it contains, a lot of the DJI will put a lid on a lot of this information until a certain date, and the FCC abides by that. A lot of times it's schematics, drawings, so forth. But the one thing that they did release was the label for the battery compartment. Okay, and you can see this is listing frequency range. There's a lot of information here. Now it talks about label, RF exposure info, test report. You know, you can see some things here. The FCC confidentiality letter. Let's go ahead. I just want to kind of show this to you guys. Okay. Okay, confidential treatment of the documents listed below. So it's certification. Marketed from 180 days from the grant date. Okay. Now let's take a look, and I'm going to move back here. Let's take a look. Okay. Now it's 180 days. Let's say the grant date is yesterday's date, which is 3/15. I believe submitted, available. No, let's take a look. Yeah, 3/15 is the grant date, so there's 180 days. But that's just until the information is released. So this is something that's going to be coming sooner rather than later. Now you can take a look at some of these things will actually come up. Okay, let's, for example, okay, there's no. Let's go to test report. Okay, there's nothing here. Here it is, right here. And unless you know what you're reading here, okay, you're not real. Permanent confidential, no. Short-term confidential, no. These are available to look at, and here's what it is. And this is just maximum power, spectral density. You know, if you're an engineer, you probably understand this. Okay, a lot of this stuff we're not going to understand. Okay, it's just going to be way over our heads. All right. Now you can see there's all kind of reports here, everything. Label, all right? There you go. There's our label, okay? And it provides a lot of information. You know, it provides the information, what the label's going to look like, all right? Go ahead. I'm going to shrink that down so you can see it at once. All right, and it's very familiar. It's what you see right now. Everybody has that. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and go to the article. You know, I'll drop a link to Hayes' article in the description so you guys can go ahead and see that. Now, the original DJI Mavic Air 2 was launched about 1 year ago, hailed by many as DJI's best all-around, offering the best bang for your buck. Mavic Air 2 is such a capable drone that almost rivals the more expensive DJI Mavic 2 Pro and Zoom. FCC filing shows a new listing for DJI Air 2S and seems to indicate an upgraded version of the original DJI Mavic Air 2. Wouldn't it be too soon for DJI to introduce a successor for the Mavic Air 2? Hayes talking not necessarily. The Mini was replaced 1 year later by the Mini 2, which brought the OcuSync transmission and 4K video to it, okay? Now, is there going to be a better camera sensor? Ositalev mentioned on Twitter the possibility of a new DJI drone having the 1/1.7-inch IMX686 sensor on board that can take 64 megapixel photos and shoots video at 4K resolutions in 60 frames per second, okay? And then, of course, the new DJI Air 2S could include DJI's latest video transmission system, which is now called O3 instead of OcuSync 3.0. The system is also on board the DJI FPV drone that was recently released. DJI Air Sense or ADS-B in, okay? In 2019, DJI announced that as of 2020, all new DJI drones weighing more than 250 grams would have DJI's AirSense technology, ADS-B in, on board. ADS-B in warns the drone pilot of any nearby manned aircraft that have ADS-B out on board and activated. When the DJI Mavic Air 2 was first introduced, ADS-B in was only available for the North American market. It could be that the DJI Air S2 will not include DJI's AirSense technology for all markets. That's an unknown. The FCC filing itself does not give us a whole lot of information. Location of the label will be in the same spot as before. The battery, it's going to be the same battery, 11.55 volts, 3,500 milliamp hours, 40.42 watt hours, which is the same as the original Mavic Air 2. So we're not expecting any additional flight time. Now, he says, when can we expect the new DJI Air 2S? Nowadays, you can have the FCC filings made public very soon before launching a new product. So we might see the new DJI drone within a matter of weeks. Typically, when DJI launches a new drone, the media gets a heads up and a review sample a few weeks before the official launch. This has not happened yet with this particular model. However, maybe DJI treats this slightly different if it's not much more than an upgrade to an existing Mavic Air 2. We'll have to wait and see, okay? All right. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Looks like it's on its way, guys. I mean, that's some pretty heavy stuff. Yeah, drone use media. That's a great question. The price. One thing I got to say about the price, and I know that's going to be, Ted Bowman, you bring up a great point. Your other batteries will work with that. Your original Mavic Air 2 batteries will work for that. They got to keep this under $1,000, okay? There's no question about it, especially with a fly more type of kit. You got to keep this under 2K or 2K. You got to keep this under 1K, all right? You're not going to get people to go. That was the whole reason the Mavic Air 2 did as well as it did, was because it was under that 1K price point. They've got to do the same thing with this, okay? Is it going to be worth the upgrade? Here's another question, okay? Looks like we'll have to see the DJI Air 2S before the Mavic 3. Fly Zone, you're right. DJI always comes up with stuff, okay, all the time. Mavic 3 later release, this means. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, it was scheduled for probably late summer, early fall anyway. This is a total surprise. I mean, the Mini 2 was a total surprise, basically. Okay, that just like, boom, it just can't. And here it is. Okay, here it is. We next thing we know, we see the Mini 2. Here we're talking about an Air. Now notice the name as well too. Okay, how they're dropping Mavic from this. All right, Air S2. All right, 2S, the Air 2S. Yeah, Ted, a lot of people are saying the same thing now, that they're glad that they didn't buy this because, and it's like, I know, and I've seen a lot of people on some forums and some pages have talked about they regretted buying the FPV drone. And a lot of them have taken it back. See, that's the advantage of buying it from a brick and mortar store. It's easy to take that back. It's not so easy to send it back to DJI, but buying it from like a Best Buy, it's easy to take that back there. I personally think, This drone is probably, you're probably going to see no more. It's probably going to be $899. My guess, 800. It might be like $849. This is not going to be a huge price difference from the Mavic Air 2. We're going to have improved camera in this drone. Okay, I think there's going to be a lot of features that are going to come standard with it. With DJI Fly, they're probably going to have a robust update to the DJI Fly app before this comes out, and be prepared for a lot of killer features on it. Okay, that's one thing that DJI has done really well with the Mavic Air 2 is they have done some incredible firmware updates on that drone. Out of all the drones that they've come out with in recent memory, their firmware updates for this drone have been nothing short than fantastic. Okay, and one of the things they still got to do is change the coloring and the font on that DJI Fly app. Okay, that's one of my pet peeves with that. Okay, white on white, having it up in the corner, that just still gets me. Okay, anyway, all right. The mini series, it was a very clever strategy making the older batteries battle the Mini 2. It's essentially made the upgrade much more exciting. Your Drone Views Media, exactly. So they repeated a winning strategy, winning formula. Exactly, Drone Views Media. You couldn't have, you nailed it on the head right there. It's a winning strategy. We're going to upgrade the camera on this. And, and it's the same thing. You brought up a good thing. Will it have OcuSync? Yeah, Blue Skyver, it will. That's what they're saying it is going to have. They're going to call it O 3.0, but it's OcuSync 3.0. Okay, which is what the new FPV drone has. Okay. Will it fly with existing RC controller? Good question. Probably not, because that one's OcuSync 2.0. Okay, that's just a guess off the top of my head. I'm kind of shooting from the hip on that one. I don't know, but that's just a guess. I don't think it will, because it's OcuSync 2.0 is different than OcuSync 3.0. Going to have an upgraded camera on this. Okay, did I pre-order yet? Absolutely, Marcus. I got my money down. Okay. I called my buddy up in Shenzhen, and we got it handled. Okay. And I got one pre-ordered for you and Ron as well. Okay. We got it. We're all set. We're all set for this. We'll give it a go. Will it fly with the new goggles? That's, I don't think so. Are you talking about the DJI goggles or the FPV goggles? Blue Skyver? I don't know. I hope it's has side avoidance. Yeah, Greg, I do too. I think that's beginning to look a lot like you need to have something like that with a drone like that. Full obstacle avoidance, Johnny. Yeah, I think that's a must going forward in a lot of these drones, is to have this full obstacle avoidance, because a lot of times if you're backing up to get a shot, boom, I know a lot of people who had the Evo and the Evo 2 the Evo backed up, next thing you know, boom, they've gone into a tree. That's why Ron Brown has gone dark on us. Marcus, you nailed it on the head right there, okay? Ron Brown is in DNA, okay? He's using the cover of going down to Florida for Ray Kelly's trip. He has the Mavic Air 2, and he's testing it on us, and he doesn't want to be found right now, okay? That's where Ron is. So you guys, if you guys know where Ron is, you put it out there. Let me know. Okay, we're gonna hunt Ron down. We're gonna find him, and I'll, if I have to drive 2 hours to get some pictures of Ron flying and some video, I'm gonna do it. Okay, down here in Florida, we're gonna find Ron. I want to make sure of that. But this is exciting news. Okay, this is like right on top of. Okay. The Mini 2 came out, and it was pure excitement for a while, okay? Now the FPV comes out. Sort of excitement. Sorry, okay? I think I speak for a lot of us here, even, the hardcore FPVers are like, pass, okay? The camera drone guys, most of them say pass. Some have tried it. Some like it, okay? Some are like, found out like Joshua Bardwell, it's not your cup of tea. It's not real FPV. Okay. It's like, I'll put it to you this way. All right. My dad had to start drinking decaffeinated coffee for his health when he was my age, in his 60s. All right. And he had to drink Sanka, and he said, this isn't coffee. Okay. So it's kind of the same thing. This isn't FPV, okay? It's DJI's version of FPV, all right, with a camera drone. Just that's all. That's all I'm going to say on that. But no, this is fantastic. And Marcus is in the house. Welcome, Marcus. Glad to see you tonight. You guys. Oh, let me put in a plug. All right, Marcus is going to be on because Ron Braun's under DNA tonight. Okay, he's persona non grata, as I like to say. Marcus is going to fill in. He has Marcus, you have a very tall order tonight. He's going to fill in on Philly Drone Life with Mikey tonight. So our thoughts and well wishes are with you with Mikey tonight, Marcus. Okay. Hopefully you come out of it intact and you're not banging your head against the wall after being around Mikey for an hour and a half. So have fun. But seriously, it's a plug. Always go see Mikey. Mikey's a great time. You guys he always will entertain. All right. But to the Mavic Air 2, okay, that price, okay, I don't see it jumping more than $100 right now. All right, to be honest with you guys, I don't see it. And same with that. I think we're gonna stick under that $1,000. Okay, even with the Fly More, I think it's gonna do that. The one thing I wish DJI would do, all right. They make the best consumer drone. Yeah, it is going to be fun, Marcus. The DJI, without question, makes the best consumer drones in the world. Okay, let's just put it out there. Okay, their accessories are fantastic. Okay, they suck at making bags. Okay, they suck. Okay? I'm sorry. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. Everyone, I mean, they're high quality. The material is good, okay, but it's always like seeing how much you can stuff into that bag, okay, and that drone is in there and it's so tight inside there. It's just, I'd rather sometimes not have a bag and have $50 off of it instead of getting that, okay, so I can go out and find a bag. I mean, really, yeah, that's. Yeah, you're right, Fly Zone Drone. Yeah, you're right. This will be talk about a segue between now and when the Mavic 3 comes out. Having the Air 2S, that's going to be crazy awesome. All right, and that's going to be a go-to drone, and especially if it comes with that kind of a sensor. And what I'm hoping with that kind of a sensor for this drone, okay, now you guys know my favorite drone, okay? It's not the one you see right over there, trying to point the right way. It's hard like this. The Phantom 4 back there, okay? I love the Phantom 4. That's not my favorite. It's the Mavic 2 Pro. Mavic 2 Pro, it's because of that low light sensor on there, okay? I'm hoping that sensor will come close to rivaling the Mavic 2 Pro. All right. I really am. And I'm telling you guys, if it does, this Mavic Air, I keep saying Mavic, okay? I got to get this Air 2S is going to blow the doors off of every other drone except the Mavic 2 Pro. It really will. And that's what the Mavic Air 2 has done. It has really blown the drawers. And I think a lot of you guys put in there, and I did see a lot of that, okay? The V-copter drone guy. I'm laughing at that. Obstacle avoidance is going to be key in this one, all right? It's an absolute must. And obstacle avoidance, not like it is in the Mavic 2 Pro, okay? Only in tripod mode or some other modes. No. With it, it's on all the time, and you have the option of being able to shut it off. All right. Pure and simple. All right. It makes your drone flying experience a whole lot better. And what a great way, because my Mini, we've had weather the past couple of months, 35, 40-mile-an-hour winds during the day. All right. And every time I've been trying to go up to get my Mini 2 up, I can't get it up because of the weather. It's just been 35, 40-mile-an-hour winds. There's no way I can take the Mini 2 up. I mean, I'd have a hard time getting the Mavic 2 Pro or the Phantom 4 up, okay, and getting some good video. But it's just too windy for that. But conversely, you get over 15-mile-an-hour winds with the Mini 2, you got to really think about even taking it up. The Air 2, you're going to have a lot more the Air 2S, you're going to have a lot more flexibility in getting this up there, okay? And that's 64 gigabyte pictures with that. That's going to be crazy awesome, okay? That is going to be crazy awesome. Yeah, Ted, there's going to be a lot of Mavic Air 2s for sale. Don't, Bill the Drone Reviewer did not tell you to go sell your Mavic Air 2s right now, guys. I want to make real clear about that, all right? We really don't have a date yet. We've heard rumors within the next month, okay? But who knows? Until we see. Now, that's concrete, okay? What you see from the FCC Grant ID database is concrete. Ted, that would be a great 78th birthday present, okay? That really would. That would be absolutely fantastic. Oh, my friend from Kentucky, how are you, my friend? Bluegrass drone guy. So, we got a new drone coming. We should be excited about it. That's something I think everybody should be excited about. One of the things that you've learned over time is when you see something, you'll go out there and you'll see pictures, and they'll be out there on Twitter, and people besides the C-Lev put pictures out there as well too. But the real pictures that you can kind of sink your teeth into are when you find something out on the FCC Grant ID database, such as that label that Hey Kestelou, I don't know if Hey found it, but he probably does, because he's a pretty good investigator. He's pretty good at investigating things around drones. So that's some concrete evidence that we have right there, okay? Now, they did talk about 180 days confidentiality, but they just throw that out there just to have it out there so people can't get a hold of a lot of the key specs. And I mean, there's tests and there's reports and other things. But I imagine probably within the next week or so, if this is going to come out soon, we're going to see some leaks. And I want to tell you guys something about leaks, okay? When I'm talking about meaning picture leaks, all right? Understand that these leaks I'm not going to say DJI puts them out there on purpose. I'm not going to say that DJI doesn't put them out there on purpose. Let's just say, oops, here, okay? Is when they come out, because it's like they don't happen. Let me put a better way to put it. They don't happen by accident. Okay, these leaks that come out regarding this, okay, it won't be an accident. All right, it will not be an accident. So be on the lookout. There'll probably be some photos coming up, I imagine, because this is going to happen in the time frame that we think it's going to happen. Okay, you're probably going to start. You probably see within the next few days some pictures come out of it, some actual pictures. They may be those benchmark type pictures where you're seeing it with a ruler and so forth. You're probably not going to be able to tell a lot from it. All right, because if this is going to be, if they're upgrading the camera, OcuSync 3.0 on it, some type of either ADS-B in like the original one had, or maybe they're going to make it so it will work with the new remote ID. I don't know. This could be one of the reasons that they're coming out with it as well. So obstacle avoidance. If it's a top on view, you're not going to be able to see that. A front on view, still, you're probably not going to see it. It'll probably show this. you know, the views that you're going to want to see, you're going to want to see the side views, you're going to want to see a rear view to see if their sensors are on there. You know, the bottom ones are probably going to, it's probably going to be the same as far as the sensors are concerned, but this, looking at the side and looking at the top, you'll be able to tell instantly, you know, in the back, if it has something like 360, which I think it should have. I think that should be kind of a must-have on a lot of these drones. The Mini 2, you're not going to get that because of the price point, but with this, and if they can keep it under $1,000 and they up that camera, you know, you saw 64 megapixel pictures, being able to take that with that, and to have that processor, which sounds like a great processor, it's going to be a home run, guys. It really will. So that's where we're at tonight. Leaks are all part of marketing to build up anticipation. Drone Views Media, you said it best, okay? Question of the day. What must-have features do you think will be on the DJI Air 2S? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.